Jim Gordon here in the offices of the Richmond Sentinel. Time for another edition of Richmond Stories. Cooperative Education and Work Integrated Learning, or CEWIL, partner with post-secondary institutions, community members, employers, government, and students to champion work-integrated education and learning in a workplace. Today's interview is with a young woman who's a resident of Richmond, a fourth-year student, and the recipient of Langara College's 2023 Co-op Student of the Year Award. She will soon graduate with a co-op designation as part of her Bachelor of Business Administration in Business Management and has already landed a full-time position when she graduates. Well, as we dissolve up here to the set in the offices of the Richmond Sentinel, the young woman I was talking about is Nitika. She joins us now. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I should say, it's the first time I've interviewed somebody who does not have a last name. You're a one-namer.
Yes, I am.
That's great. Well, that's another check mark for me, actually. Okay, as I mentioned in the intro, you were featured in a recent edition of the Richmond Sentinel. Let's talk about your young career so far. And what I want to ask for our viewers too is that you were attending, about to graduate, Langara College, but you'll be graduating with a full degree, a university acknowledged degree. How does that work? Because you didn't go to UBC or whatever, but talk about your experience at Langara and how they make that work so you can have a university degree.
Yeah, so Langara is a college. It has various programs, but it also offers bachelor's programs and degrees. So I myself am doing a BBA, so I'm graduating with a bachelor's in business administration. So it does offer the full 4-year programs as well.
And for our viewers out there that may have high school students, kids, would you recommend Langara as a course to go?
Absolutely. I think for me, especially because I was working part-time while doing my courses.
That's a key thing, isn't it?
Yes, so it allows you to do programs that are in the morning or courses during the morning or afternoons, so you can work accordingly, flexibly with your schedule.
That's great. And let's talk about your schedule when you were in school. I mean, how was your time in all the years you were there? How much did you study academics, business administration, and how much was involved in the co-op program and the kind of, I'll call it the on-site training experience? How was that all incorporated together to make it fittable to your lifestyle and schedule?
So with the co-op program, you can actually take it any time throughout the 4-year program. You have to do one prerequisite course, which is basically teaching you how to build your portfolio, your resume, teaching you how to conduct interviews. And then afterwards, you have your entire 3 years to take your co-op program anytime. It's a semester-based program, so that you can either do it solo as its own thing, or you could even do it as like with a couple courses you're taking along with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And do you get to choose which one, or does the school place you in accordance with what you're studying?
So the school allows you to take the opportunity to basically apply to a choice of yours, any company you're interested in. So they allow you to have that whole process of applying for interviews, knowing about a company you're particularly interested, and then taking the interview and being employed by them.
That's great. Now, your first co-op experience was with Event Assistant, a nonprofit. Talk a bit about that if you could.
Yeah, so my first co-op program, I did it last year, 2023, and that was in early spring with Latin Vancouver. It's a nonprofit organization, as you said, and there I got to work with mentors who have been in the industry for many, many years. The organization has been doing programs for the past 15 plus years, so I got to curate different programs and do them from scratch, whether it's ordering tents from the very base, talking to the city, having conversations with the city to understand rules and regulations and the policies you have to follow to organize different events, and then down to taking down events and getting feedback from people. So, yeah.
It's interesting because I cover a lot of events, but often people don't realize there's a lot of the minutia involved in putting this event on and making sure it's safe and proper and regulated. Was it everything you'd hoped to be, your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I never thought I would be doing events because that's not my background.
Sure.
I'm doing business management, and with the co-op, I just got to try a new industry, try a new type of work lifestyle, and that was something unexpected, but the best experience of my life.
Yeah, it certainly adds to your experience, doesn't it? To more things you can put in your business arsenal. Are co-op students reimbursed for the hours they work?
Yes.
Oh, you are? Okay, great, great. Good
So
work.
we do have paid internships.
Mm-hmm.
So different companies offer their different wages, and mine was also paid. So
That's good to hear, because I'm certainly not in your world, but that's something I read a lot about over the last decade, about the amount of hours that interns work, and if they're not getting paid, that can make it very difficult to also continue your scholastic career. When you were looking at this, are there a lot of companies involved in this, offering positions in various different areas?
absolutely, there are a lot of companies out there that are looking to hire new students, and they want to be patient with them and teach them something new, and possibly in the future offer opportunities to work with them.
Is there enough, pardon my ignorance on this, I'm learning as I'm going along talking to you, but is there enough, do you feel there was enough time for you in this experience in terms of the length of the co-op itself?
Right. So my first program, or the first co-op I did, was with Vancouver. Initially, the contract was just 4 months.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that I don't think that was enough. And
Okay, good.
I was lucky enough to be extended for another 4 months. So it became like a two-term co-op
Yeah,
program
yeah.
for me. And from that, I got to learn in 8 months. I got to learn quite a bit.
Well, staying with that, about appreciating that you had 2 terms or 8 months as opposed to 4, are there other things, recommendations you would give to, say, the school or to parents out there about how it could improve this co-op?
No, I think for me personally, like it was initially, it was 4 months and it got extended to 8 months. There are opportunities like that where people can extend their co-op
Oh, so you can
terms.
take 4 or 8. Okay,
Correct.
right.
So that is out there. So if you're people who feel, maybe sometimes they feel they're overwhelmed with just 4 and they're good to go and they feel like they've accomplished what they want, they can stop at that. And there are people who want to learn more and they feel like they can expand more, they can extend it. So you have that flexibility with you.
Well, let's talk about what's next for you. You've done this. Is this an area you'd like to return to, or was it one that you said, I'm glad I experienced it because it'll add to my resume, I want to try some other things?
I think it's both ways. It goes both ways. So it's definitely something I loved and enjoyed, and I would love to come back to. But it's also something that's, again, built on my resume, and then now I get to explore different things and say that I can use this as a transferable skill, right? Use it towards something else. So definitely, it goes both ways.
Got to ask this last question. So you graduate soon.
Yes.
Are you going to take some time off this summer, or are you going to jump right into the business world?
So I'm currently, with my last co-op that I did, it was actually a full-time job. So I'm currently working with them.
Oh, well done.
Yes, so I think I will be extending it and I'll be continuing it, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
This is great. Thank you for joining us here today. We love doing these Richmond stories, but it's also great when we can tell stories about young people that are beginning their careers. That's what the paper is all about in these interviews. So, Natika, a one-namer.
Yes.
Well done. Congratulations. I like that. I have 2 names. I'm Jim Gordon, but we want to thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Look for the Richmond Sentinel online and in print, and we hope you enjoy these videos. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.